We start with the Lions gambit. 43 seconds left, 4th and 1 from the Green Bay 21. Everyone thinking field goal, not Dan Campbell. Goes for it, gets it, drains the clock, knocks the field goal in and win. Jordan Love never gets a chance. Now, your fellow analytical nerd said this is the wrong decision. Did you agree?
I mean, it was the wrong decision. So here's the deal. I want to be fair here because every weekend in the NFL, coaches make decisions this wrong in the conservative direction.
Yeah.
And it goes without mention. Nobody notices. We're just used to it, right? People make the too conservative decision that cost their team 4 or 5 percentage points of winning the game, and we ignore it. So I don't think it is cataclysmic. I don't think anything like that. But it is one of the reasons why, in a huge spot, the Lions make me nervous. Because this harkened, he was going for 4th the whole game.
Yep.
And there were 2 that he went for. I was live texting Danny Parkins during it, and then he shared my text. I don't like when he does that. Now I know how you guys feel when I do it to you
off
guys.
The record with you.
Yeah, evidently. And one of them, a 4th and goal one, I wouldn't have done it, and he got the touchdown. Another one, a 4th and short on his own 30, I said I wouldn't have done it, and he got stopped. But, like, those were, I understood the logic there. The reason this last one I thought was problematic was for 2 reasons. One is it was a ton of risk with minimal reward. You were either, like, your entire reward was depriving the Packers of 30 seconds. That's all you were getting. Right. Because either way you're kicking the field goal, it's not that you think the field goal is more makeable 3 yards closer. That's all it is. It's just depriving the Packers of 35 seconds with a chance to tie it. And the risk is 0 points. And so it reminded me.
The risk is losing.
Well, yeah. No. Getting 0 points and then losing. Right. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Like losing in regulation.
Yes, absolutely. I should have said that. It reminded me a lot of the 2-point conversion against the Cowboys, which that was an emotional decision from a place of anger. It felt like he was mad at the refs. Mm-hmm. This was an emotional decision from a place of hubris. We're just going to get it. And that is, I'm fine with that to a degree. In that spot, Brew, there was so little gained from it because if you just kick, it's Packers ball, 38 seconds left, no timeouts. And last point, I feel like there needs to be a small adjustment when you're Dan Campbell, coach of the underdog Lions, and Dan Campbell, coach of maybe the best team in the league, Lions. When you're the underdog, you need to add variance. You need to be riskier. Not a full change, not like go away from who you are, but recognize, okay, so if we give them the 30 seconds and it goes to overtime, guess what? We'll win. We're better than them. This felt like they were afraid of that, and they shouldn't be.
A little bit. Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Then it was the right decision.
You don't.
What are we talking about? Now, I am with you. Yes. I would not have done it.
No.
All right.
Yeah,
I would not have done it because, and he talked about trusting, and he's right. I trust my guys. I trust my O-line. I trusted Knuckles David Montgomery to get the yardage. But
trust Goff not to fall down, but he did.
People have said, and it's true, in college, Goff is down. Because when he hit the ground, he didn't have to be touched. Yeah. But in the pros, obviously kept playing. But you could look at it like you didn't trust your defense. You trusted the offense,
a little bit,
but you didn't trust the defense. Like you said, 38 seconds. Now, they're not going to score. I mean, I shouldn't say they're not, but chances are they wouldn't have scored a touchdown.
Correct.
Right? If at best they get a field goal. So if you kick the field goal, at worst,
your worst case scenario is overtime.
But your chances are you got a good chance of keeping them from even getting 3. And so, I think he should have kicked it. And you mentioned the Dallas game last year where it cost them. I'll bring up the playoffs because remember, they were up 24-7 on San Francisco at halftime. All right, and then the second half, third and fourth quarters, they went for it 2 times on 4th down within San Francisco's 30-yard line and failed both times. The Niners got the ball and went down and scored touchdowns and obviously got back, won the game by 3. So he left 6 points on the board. You never know how a game's going to play out, but he left 6 points on the board, and they lose by 3. When you fail on a 4th down attempt, not only do you leave points on the board, but you give the opponent momentum because they stopped you. You thought you were going to beat them, and they stopped you, shut you down. So now they have all the momentum.
I buy that.
So, look, it worked out for them. This is who they are. But I just say there has to be nuance. I've said this all along. Just because you go for it on 4th down, you don't go for it every single time it's 4th and 3.
And can I?
You have some
oddly
nuance.
would have supported this more if they were down 1. And I know that sounds crazy because then the risk is if we don't get it, the game's over, we lose. But if you're down 1 and the thought process is if we kick this field goal and make it, they can beat us in regulation. You already had kind of the overtime in your pocket, which is why I would. And I think his point, and then go Wilds, the other point Brew made, I don't think it kind of sends the message. He then verbalized the message. He doesn't and shouldn't right now trust his defense. That's the other story from this game is the Lions are a great team, and they do have a great coach who's not perfect, but none of the coaches are. But we did see that those defensive injuries start to rear its head.
They gave up, 31?
Yes, and so that to me is a noteworthy feature of this game.
Dusty, can you pull up the Dan Campbell sound before I preface it? This is what I am. I'm anti-nuance, and I'm pro-consistency, where it's like, we're going for it. We are an aggressive team. This is who we are, and everyone that was asked, yeah, we knew we were going for it.
No, they didn't.
Who didn't say that?
Amon-Ra said, he said going into the game, we knew it would be a 4th down game. Now, I was surprised we went for that one.
Okay, sorry.
I think that,
but
go ahead. I don't mean to undercut what you're saying.
I like that this is who we are as a team.
I agree with that.
Well, I'm going to show you 2 clips, and you're going to get mad at me. It was hard. I had this thought in my brain, and I will preface why it's unfair.
It's fine.
This game was Lions-Packers. They still are in the hunt in their own division. They're still in the hunt for the 1 seed. The Chiefs were Chiefs-Panthers. They are trying to do something totally different. That being said, 2 post-game coaches in the locker room, both coming off wins by narrow margins. I'm going to play them back to back.
Yeah, this is unfair.
It's totally unfair, but it also speaks to something that I think is against. It hurts your theory and sort of helps mine. Heavy is the head that wears the King of Vibes crown, but I got to be honest with what I'm telling you, what I'm seeing. I see one team putting it all on the line, doing risky stuff, playing hard, and the other team practicing. These teams are both the best team in the AFC, best team in the NFC, and they feel like they are taking very different approaches to the regular season.
You made your point, right? I mean, the vibes are great in the Detroit locker room and weren't great with the Chiefs. So in that little microcosm, you made your point. Overall, though, it still was the wrong decision. I mean, you did make a great point, though. Because if it worked, it's great, but if it didn't work.
But I think Wilds' point is even if it didn't work and they went in overtime, the Lions are going to be super pumped over everything, and the Chiefs are more of a, that wasn't the way we wanted to do it. I will try. This is a family-friendly show, so I'll try to not use the exact analogy I would like to. But the first time in times you do anything is always more exciting than the 100th.
What do you mean?
And so there is no such thing as your first hamburger is always delicious. Your 100th, sometimes it's like, yeah, that wasn't the best. And so I think that there is a been there, done that element of the Chiefs.
Sure.
Where and I also don't think Dan Campbell would have had that level of excitement if they were playing a team that at the time what was at the time 2 weeks ago we were talking about Carolina, the worst team in the league.
Yep.
And I don't think the Chiefs were not bummed in the locker room after beating a divisional opponent that's a playoff team in Denver.
Yeah, the Broncos,
at the last
yeah,
second.
right.
Mahomes ran onto the field, amazing vibes.
And I didn't pull the Dan Campbell Thanksgiving sound either. I don't know if that was like a debacle that, you know.
And so listen, they are right now this moment, if it were the college football playoff, and the Lions would be seated ahead of the Chiefs. But there's a lot, and the vibes are better. There's no doubt about it. But I think it's because the Lions are in the midst of some of the most important football any of these guys have ever played. Yeah, probably. And the Chiefs are in the midst of a slog towards the season beginning.
You would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Packers 9-4. Jordan Love completes 12 passes. Got a touchdown. Josh Jacobs handled all the rest. 3 touchdowns on the ground. Matt LaFleur goes winless against Detroit this year. He addressed the idea of a playoff rematch. Hey, Brew, do you have more faith in your Packers, even though they
look good? I mean, they lost. Now Detroit's banged up. So are the Packers. Jair Alexander.
I think if Jair was there, they win. Yeah, and if they get any of the calls their way, they win. Yeah,
Goff was getting, I mean, he played well, but guys were open with Alexander. That's not the case. I'm the same. I mean, I'm the same. I think Detroit's better. I think Philly might be better, certainly more talented. But the gap between them and the Packers is not enough where the Packers can't upset them in the playoffs. When we made our preseason picks, I don't know if we picked division.
We did.
Okay, I think I picked Detroit to win the division.
I think you did too, actually.
Yeah, so I have not sat on here all season and said Green Bay's the best team in the NFC. But I think they're good enough to pull off an upset and some multiple upsets in the playoffs. And it'll take multiple.
So that's the worry.
But last year
they crushed Dallas and they had San Francisco.
And in addition to, they're a balanced team. The defense is good. It's not awesome, but it's good. Offensively, you got J-Lo, who I really like. The receivers are good. The running game is they got a good balanced team. All right. But you know what else I like about them? They are mentally tough. For them, they were the youngest team last year in the playoffs in 50 years. Yep. To go to Dallas, which it won 12 games, and at that point, people are thinking is a contender, 16 in a row at home, and crush them, and then have, like you said, the Niners, who were everybody's picking the NFC, on the ropes. This team is mentally tough. So in a one-and-done playoff format, they can get Detroit. And again, you said it yesterday. You're probably right. Is there any proof that it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season? Maybe not, but it feels like it's tough. So I think, I feel good about it.
I agree with you that one and done, they can beat anyone. I don't think they can win 3 straight road games, which is now the position they're going to be in. So, but let me give Green Bay credit for a moment. People got mad at me. Some things I've said about Jared Goff might seem a little unfair. Some things I think are fair when I say the civilian. And there was a play. Now, you said yesterday definitively Jordan Love is the best quarterback in the NFC. I don't know that I actually believe Jordan Love is right now better than Jared Goff. But he is more talented. Right. And so he has a chance.
He can be more than a civilian.
Exactly right. And so there was a play last night that when I thought the Packers, they're going to win. I thought this was going to be the play of the game.
Great play.
And when I saw that, to me, I was thinking about it in the context of that's why having a non-civilian at quarterback can be the difference. Can there be 1 or 2 plays a game where someone else screws up, the other team executes perfectly, and he's like, don't worry about it. I got it. And that's just really hard for everyone but 6 or 7 human beings alive to do. And the Packers have a guy who can do that. Now, I don't know that his mistakes are so much more prevalent than some of the other guys. He's young. There's all these things. So I do think the Packers can beat anyone. I just think the path is too hard now. Had they won last night, man, that was tough. If they were playing the Chiefs, the narrative is, man, there were 5 very questionable calls that all went against them. They needed a field goal at the end. We don't do that to the Lions. We don't do that to anyone except the Chiefs, so that's fine. But They played well enough to win last night. And so I do think they could go back there and win in the playoffs. But then the next week, can they go to Philadelphia? If the previous week they had to go to Tampa, like it's the road is just.
That's what would help them if they do get like a Tampa or whoever wins the NFC West, which won't be easy, but in the first round.
Right now, the problem with that is if they get whoever wins the NFC West, that team's probably going to be hot at that time. And right now, they have a real chance of falling to the 7, in which just a game out of that, in which case you're at Philly in round 1, probably. But yeah, I mean, it's just a tough spot.
Yeah. Don't they remind you of a team that needs a deeper playoff run and some heartbreak? They feel like a team that got anointed as like the sleeper team even a little too early.
That's how it seems to work. It seems.
But I mean, by the way, they got it. I mean, they got to the second round last year. There's only one like that.
I mean, Detroit's only been.
Yeah, Detroit's been one round further. Do we have 2 minutes to do the golf MVP thing? I know.
If you really want it, it has to be fast.
It's gonna be fast. I would like to do it.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not.
He doesn't want to talk MVP.
I hope this is a commercial.
He wants to be silly.
I'm not gonna, guys. You're actually wrong.
Jared Goff MVP. Around 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also went perfect 10 for 10 in the fourth quarter. MVP odds still have him in the 4th place, even though he's got the league's best offense. I swear to God.
What?
Wow, this
You want to give him a round of applause?
Have a straight.
You want to give him
if you have a straight Saquon, this and that, running backs, he's doing great. That's okay. Tread lightly. Don't do it.
Can I just answer the question, please? I think Jared Goff's going to win the MVP.
Wow.
I'm not being smartass. I'm not being sarcastic, and I'm going to lay out how I think it's going to happen.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So
can I ask quick?
He's not mine.
He's not your. No, right now. So you're not saying.
I'm not saying I think he should or he would be mine right now.
Okay.
I'm saying I text my gambling group chat today. You can get Goff at 10-1, and I love it. I think it's down to 8-1 right now, and here's why. I think the Bills are very live to lose this week to the Rams. And then next week, with Nance and Romo on the call, we are going to get Goff Allen. And they are going to, at some point during that broadcast, throw up both of their numbers. And Goff's absolutely running away with it.
So here's Goff. I don't know if we got it. With Goff's numbers, just in the winning streak. It's all ones.
Right. And so his numbers compared to Allen's are
way better.
Way better. And I think the Lions win that game. And all of a sudden, Josh Allen has lost 2 in a row. And it's like, wait, his numbers aren't amazing. He's lost 2 in a row. And Saquon, my guy, I think he has a couple things working against him. One is the one tough game they have, I think Pittsburgh might be able to hold him down a bit. And the other teams are so bad, I think they're going to keep his usage low.
I think that's smart.
And I don't think he's going to.
They don't want to run him out for the playoffs.
Exactly right. So I don't think he's going to break the record. And I think Goff's going to beat Allen. And then the second to last, the last Monday Night Football game of the year is Jared Goff against San Francisco. And he's going to have the national stage all to himself before Week 18 when guys rest or whatever. I think he's going to win MVP.
Wow.
And when he does, we should all give him a round of applause.
All right.
I'm just telling you. I think he should win it.
I just think it's mad corny. Wiles has absolute disdain for it.
I just said the guys find someone else on TV today that says he's going to win MVP.
It was a good take.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.